So basically, I realized there are other ways. If ABC, CBS, and NBC won't hire you, try to do it in syndication, like Entertainment Tonight or something like that. And that's what I did. I gathered stations, created a syndicated network for myself, and I launched the show. And I knew they'd come after me and they'd catch up with me in about 2 or 3 years. But I got paid. I got the big bag for like 3 years doing it in syndication. And
but the thing was,
I didn't have the network rules in syndication. As a matter of fact, you know what? I put Snoop on. The same morning I put Snoop on, I was having a fight with Paramount because they wouldn't let me do NWA. And NWA had a track called, it was, well, first of all, the title of the group was Niggas with Attitude. And the track was Fuck the Police.
Fuck the Police.
Yeah,
that's a famous.
And Paramount was like, we'll freestyle Snoop. That was great. We enjoyed that. Let's do Celine Dion tomorrow and no NWA ever. You know, and so I was still fighting in the syndication situation because
did you not play in the NWA? Did they not come
never
on?
got them on. They broke up before I got them on, but I got Ice Cube and Dre and everybody on individually in their next chapter of life without the group.
But I mean, you also
and by the way, here's the thing. You go through this thing in the hood of, like, I had this conflict with Cube because Cube was like, how come you won't have us on, motherfucker? Is like blah, blah, blah. And he, you know, and we had personal conversations about it. And I told him what I was going through. And we became friends years later. But I remember the first time I heard my name in an Ice Cube song, the bar was like, people asked me if I like Arsenio, and I think he rhymed it with about as much as I like a bicentennial, because he hates the American bicentennial shit. And I heard that, I'm in the car, and I'm like, oh shit, no, I love Cube, but Paramount won't let me put y'all on right now. You know, and you keep fighting and you get through it. A lot of things they didn't want me to do. Eventually I got to do it. But that was as hard as a network, Jack.
But you had more fights than the average person, and maybe because you're black, you had to. The community would get mad at you. You were always too white or too black.
Exactly. I was in the middle of having black people say, like Ice Cube saying, "You ain't putting on enough black and hip hop artists," and then white people in focus groups, when we do focus groups, would say, "Well, why are his jeans ripped? And why does he say brother to the guests?" I remember getting these letters, and so Lucy Sohaney, who ran Paramount, she says, "Look, I'm going to show you a tape." She shows me a tape, and she says, "Could you stop saying brother? Could you just use their names?" And I said, "Keep letting that tape play," because I said I was about to do a break, and I'm like, this next brother's coming up after the break. You're gonna blah 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 blah, and whatever the dialogue is. And I said, let it come back from commercial. Comes back from commercial, and it's Mark Wahlberg. And I said, I call everybody brother. I mean, there's a lot of white dudes in hip hop. I said, and Mark Wahlberg, you know, he was with Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. And that was an interesting story because Mark called me one day and said, I want to come on and announce that I'm never rapping again. And I'm like, oh, no. Have you thought about this? And he says, yeah, I'm going to be an actor and I'm never rapping again. No more Funky Bunch. And I thought he was insane. I thought he was out of his fucking mind. And he came on, he made the announcement, and look at him now. He's never rapped since, and he's a huge
movie star.
You
know, people came on your show and made announcements. They felt like that was the place to make the announcements to the culture. I was just watching on Netflix.
I was like Twitter, Jack. I was, instead of the Bluebird, I was the Blackbird.
You were the original Twitter.
That got it all out. Yeah.